did the inception of Art the Clown become a reality?
Yeah, I wish it was a cooler story. Right?
Okay.
Like I had this amazing
create
dream and
one.
he came to me. I know I should create one. It really was when I was going to make my first short film. I said, why is anybody going to watch this? Why is it going to stick out to anybody and that's always sort of my mindset with everything that I make, even now. And it was just, okay, I'm a makeup effects artist, right? So I'm going to try and pack this thing out in 10 minutes with creatures and some makeup effects gags and sort of generic characters that I enjoy or creep me out, but now I feel like maybe I could put my own little spin on them or something. And clowns always creeped me out. I didn't have a particular fascination with killer clowns, like they were my favorite trope. But
Pennywise.
I love Pennywise. There were some other movies that I loved with clowns. But
Killer Clowns
from Outer Space, but they didn't scare me.
Right.
There was a movie called Clown House. You ever see that?
A long time
from the
80s.
late 80s, very late 80s. Maybe.
Yeah.
And there's some creepy silent clowns in that, and they were very creepy. But I knew that I could put like a spin on the clown and make a cool version of one at least. And then it just comes down to what's the process now of creating it. All right, you're gonna go in the killer clown route. Now, what does he look like, and why is yours going to stand out more than the 50 other?
How long did it take you to create?
Very quick. I think I sketched them almost instantly.
So you're an artist too.
Yeah.
Like you draw. Mm-hmm. So you sketch that look.
That's why his name is Art too. And I hate telling that story.
Because you're just
it was a piece of art. I didn't have a name for him. And that's literally why I was like, I need a placeholder. And I just knew I didn't want to call him Bozo or something silly like that. And then I just said, all right, for now he's Art the Clown. And then I just kept referring to him as that. And
were there ever other names that you thought of?
Never a second name. It just so many things like that, they just click. You feel like they happen for a reason.
When did you how did you meet David Thornton? David
Thornton. Just a open call audition in
How many people did you meet?
He was the sixth person, I would say, to come into the room. And I knew instantly.
What did he do that was different?
I would have. There's a good chance I would have cast him just on his physicality alone when he walked in the room. As soon as I saw him, I said, he's just going to look great. I was just looking for a tall, skinny person with a big smile, like a big grin. And as soon as he walked in, I'm like, well, there's my guy. Because the first Art the Clown, David's not the first Art the Clown.
Right.
First couple of short films that were then thrown into an anthology was my buddy Mike Gianelli. And he just hung out with me when I was getting.
He wasn't an actor.
Not an actor at all.
He just did you a favor.
Did me a favor. Hung out with me. And when I was getting into makeup effects, especially, I was started to get into life casting and prosthetics. So I molded his face and I would make zombie prosthetics for him and everything. And then when I knew I was going to have this killer clown that I wanted to sculpt a prosthetic for, I didn't feel like finding an actor or getting another life mask. So I said, hey, you want to play this clown? I'm like, you don't have to act. All you got to do is just sit there, smile, and like just do some beats. But you could do it. Trust me. I was like, the makeup will take over. But he was really good.
Yeah,
he did a really good job. He was very creepy, played it very different than
But
David.
You wanted to up the ante. You wanted to make it larger than life.
Oh, yes.
Obviously.
Well, I didn't want to replace Mike, but when we were going to make Terrifier and I reached out to him, he basically said, I don't think it's in me anymore. I can't go through hours and hours for months or whatever in the makeup chair.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he regret it?
I think he's all right. He's very happy. He's got a family now. And
right?
Yeah. I mean, it was just never his thing. So, but I'd like to get him in the movie somehow, at least get him a cameo.
Did David know, was he even slightly aware of how much he would be tortured in this movie? Like how much work it actually was?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what these movies.
I mean, when
really
he's doing
entail.
this movie, when you cast him, I mean, the guy is the nicest guy in the world. You'd never think he'd be playing Art the Clown.
No.
He's so sweet. He's like, hey, yeah,
he's
everything's, you know.
I call him, he's Roger Rabbit. You meet him in real life. He's Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
He really is. He's a walking cartoon character. He couldn't be any different than Art the Clown. It's pretty amazing. But now that was scary though, when I had to replace Mike, because Mike worked great. For all the flaws in my films, he was working perfectly. Like that character just works. So I was like, fuck, this could ruin everything. Potentially, I don't know what's going to happen when I recast this role. So I said, but now going into starting from scratch, and now that I could actually cast an actor and I could look for a specific physicality, I want this character to be, I always wanted him to be thinner because the way I sculpted the mask was a very gaunt zombie. look.
Right.
So I wanted someone thinner, taller, and hopefully with some just, more acting experience. And then when David came in the room and I just saw him physically, I said, he's going to look great in the prosthetic. I knew that right away. And then he didn't even have sides or anything. I think he knew he was just coming in for a killer clown. He goes, oh, well, what do I do? I don't have any sides. I said, I don't have any dialogue. I said, well, you don't speak. I said, I just need you to decapitate somebody. Act as if you're decapitating somebody and do it very gleefully, like you're having a great time. And that's all I told him to do.
That's it.
And you could see his audition, and he just flipped the switch, and he'd been playing the Grinch for years, and he loves Jim Carrey. I mean, he was just doing all this wonderful theatrical
the stuff in Terrifier 2 when he's in the gift shop with the goofing
the
around.
Yeah.
Was that a lot of him improvising?
Oh, well, the way a scene like that works, he does improvise a lot. But like that scene in particular, it was in the script that there's all these wacky, it's kind of my homage to that scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he goes into the magic shop.
Yeah.
So it was like he goes into the shop every time Sienna turns around, Art's at the wacky sunglasses rack, and every time she turns around, he's got a different pair of sunglasses on. So it's in the script, but it's vague. So then I just ordered a whole box of glasses from China. We just threw them on the rack, and then I go, all right, Dave, go crazy. And he'll take the glasses one at a time, and whatever the glasses sort of dictate to him, he'll just start riffing on that.
It's just unbelievable when he does this without talking.